Hi, and welcome to 108 Healing Senses podcast. My name is Jennifer Taylor, and I'm so happy to introduce Natalie Stavola, the
Hello.
lovecoach247.com. And I will actually, we're changing it up because it's nice to see what people do at the start. So, this is Natalie's fantastic website, and you've got online programs and coaching.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, and you're a career and dating coach, all about the love.
Yes. All about the love of yourself, and that way you attract in more love. That's my main thing. My big one, my program, the 90-day transformational one is, you attract more love, money, and success in 90 days or less. So all of my clients wind up leveling up in their careers, learning how to actually date, find alignment. So you find alignment with yourself and you wind up finding alignment with other people. So I take the guesswork out of this thing we call life. And I guide people. Yeah.
Wonderful. So you please go and visit Natalie's site, connect with her as well, especially if you like this conversation and what we're going to be talking about, all about love, relationships, inner love, and whatever else we're going to come up with.
Yeah. Yes.
And a quick one, this is my website. So I offer, I suppose, call it more soul healing. And also we work a lot in time to heal the past so you can create your best future. That's the podcast. Do subscribe and like this video and comment as well. It helps the algorithms. It helps to get this message out. And these are just some different offerings and different ways of working with me, whether it's design consultancy or just activating your gifts as well. So there's lots of things to do.
Ooh.
Yeah.
How do you do that? Activate your gifts. What do you do when you do that? How do you activate someone's gifts?
So taking them into their past life regression as well, but also being able to connect to your past to reclaim gifts that you have always had, but you're just reawakening them. And then you can also use future life progression to connect and reconnect to your highest path and also to your gifts that you always had and just ready to remember and reawaken them. So yeah, but I do that one-to-one, and then this is also a platform as well. So this is with myself and other different practitioners, and that's more of a US based, but anyone in the world can access it. And yeah, it's rather cool. So that's me.
That's amazing.
Thank you. And now back to
yeah, I did a past life regression. I was so curious on it. I have a practitioner. I do somatic experiencing. I go to someone for trauma work, which I've loved. It's really helped me unblock a lot of things in my body so that I wasn't tensing when it came to receiving good things.
Okay.
And then going with familiarity, which was chaos and pain. So I did a lot of work. But that practitioner, I trust her so much, and she does past life, past lives, and I was always so curious, and I begged her, and I begged her, and I begged her, and we did it. Yeah. And I can't believe what came up, but what came up was a lot of like mercenaries. I was a mercenary. So I don't know if we want to activate some of those gifts, but I'll be honest, I'm Irish and Italian, and I'm feisty. So I think those gifts we've got.
The inner strength will always come with us, and oftentimes that's the other thing with past life. You may have gifts of strength and wisdom and talents. You know, you see kids that are playing piano or painting pictures that are like just cast like incredible levels, and it can very much be related to past life and past life gifts.
Yeah.
Or past life traumas. The other way as well.
Yeah. So there were definitely some things that I inherited, some things I still needed to heal from, but I love that. So I'm curious on what other gifts I received, because a lot of it I saw was like things that I had to go through, which was really interesting. But yeah, I love all that. Anyways,
it's wonderful to find the things that you know that no longer serve you and you can release. That's very powerful. And then the other times when it's like, do I have any gifts that would like to come back to me to reawaken and activate? So you can actually do what you're meant to be doing here on Earth in a in a peaceful and confident and, in a loving way, doesn't and not care what anyone else thinks outside of you. Of course, there's going to be judgment, but learning
Of
that
course.
not caring that's pretty good.
Right. Also, the older that you get too, I feel like, especially as women, I know it for men too. Women, when we hit our 30s, it's like finally, like we hit this level of, oh my God, I don't care anymore. And then I'm told in the 40s, it's the next, like even bigger IDGAF, like I am who I am, and I'll change and grow and do whatever, but not for you. Nah. And then I'm told even more in the 50s, you're like, as a woman, as long as provided you're doing that inner work and you're learning how to like learn who you are and find that authenticity, but especially as a woman, the levels of like, I love myself and I just don't care about dumb anymore is like chef's kiss. Cannot wait.
Yeah, I love that. Actually, the more I've grown in my personal journey and the more I realize I'm not I'm not attached to other people's ideas or how they even think about me. It's like everyone has their own opinion about life, and it's not my place to tell them what they should or shouldn't do or what they should think or not. And really, it's none of my business. So I'm gonna get on with my life.
Yeah,
And do my
exactly.
best.
Yeah, I mean, I'll still do it because I've got a voice, and if someone asks me, like, but the older that I've gotten, I've realized that, and the more that we do the inner work, because I can see it with people who are in their 20s if they do the same work, and the inner work, guys, is like journaling, meditation, trauma work, affirmations, like rewiring and reprogramming your subconscious mind. You're getting your body to homeostasis, like learning who you are, your core values, what you want out of life, going for it. Like that's the thing. Pausing and processing emotions before you open your mouth or behave or do something, and that way you can get to homeostasis, regulation, and then make the next right indicated action based on your soul, not based on your trauma. That's or anxiety. So when I say inner work, I mean the process, let that shit pass and then proceed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've learned it's definitely, everyone has a projection and they're projecting their reality onto you. And the more that I've grown in this, especially like I'm certified in neuro-linguistic programming. So I specialize in like basically people's patterns and and their behaviors and words. Everyone reveals themselves essentially. It's one of the main things I do in my coaching is like you reveal everything in a good way, but you do. Even if you think you're hiding something, that actually is a reveal. That's just showing that you have wounds in a certain area. Yeah. And so once I started really learning that, I like just stopped taking things personally. It has nothing to do with me. I will still speak up every now and again. There's some things that I'll be like, nah, that's dumb. And that's going to hurt yourself and others. Fuck it, I'm going to do it. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear, but I'm like, nope, I'm going to say it. I'm like, don't say it. Don't say it. I was around this group of guys that still do like pickup artist stuff, although they've rebranded, but it's still that. And one of the guys wound up realizing that I read people and that I read people in a room. I could pick up energy like that. I could pick up like a shifty thing. I could pick up if someone doesn't like women, hates themselves, is afraid of other men, is scared, is shutting down, is overcompensating. It's like, oh my God, it's like candy to me. I'm like, put me in a room and let me just, see. And then it's not always like accurate or perfect. There are people who can cover and hide for a bit. But if I pay enough attention, if I ask certain questions, it'll, get revealed. But, I'm not a mind reader. I can't read someone's mind, but you can pick up cues, and anyone can do this, by the way.
Yeah.
Anyone can pick up cues and things. And I teach my clients how to do it.
Have you got like a little one now for the viewers that could help them just be able to navigate maybe a dangerous personality type so they know how to avoid it?
Yes. The more that you work on your inner dialogue in your head and the more that you breathe and lower your heart rate, the easier it is going to be to like outsmart a manipulator. Or honestly, you don't even want to play. You want to get out of the game. You want to get away from them. But when we have wounds, we'll stay with an abuser because we're trying to heal our childhood wounds over and over and over again, or our ego is getting attached. I have that one. Like now at this stage, when I see someone, like I saw someone as a coach who was awful, who he was disrespectful to the men in order to gaslight them into buying things from him, and then he put down women, and I was just like, oh my dude, your wounds are showing. And it took everything in me just to not like speak up or like put him in a room one-on-one with me, and just to like, and it was just it's ego, ego for me. And that would just put me around toxic people for no reason other than I don't like that you're hurting other people. So for me in real time, as an example, I feel that thing come up in me where I want to tell this person off. I want to help someone. I want to I want to one up them. I want to do whatever. But I feel that stuff come up in me. Heartbeat starts racing. So your tell is your heartbeat. Once it starts like going, then you're getting hijacked a bit. You're going into amygdala, fight, flight, fawn, and freeze. So in order to get like hijack yourself back and get yourself back, because if you're with a manipulator and you go into fight or flight, they've got you. Because if you're in reptilian brain, it makes it a lot harder to remember what you wanted to say and to access your subconscious mind and your prefrontal cortex. It makes it a lot more difficult to like fire off or say that thing that you wanted to say. And then you always wind up leaving going, I froze and I wanted to say this. So fastest way is take 3 deep breaths into your belly. That offsets your reptilian brain and puts you back into prefrontal cortex. It puts you back into like present moment you. Nice. And then you'll get to move and they won't affect you. So it's, just get out of the trigger and then you'll be fine.
That is great. And it is as learning to listen to your body and tune in. Yeah. And the body will tell you quicker than the brain. Sometimes it's like I was getting like red flags, and but then I ignored it. And you ask anyone who's ever done that, and they'll be like, I should have listened to my gut
all the time. Every time. But the thing is though, is that if you don't walk through those situations, you don't know that those are toxic or not good for you or not in alignment with you. And also you don't get insight into your life purpose as well. So there are a lot of things out there that aren't good in the world today and in individual lives. Like there's a lot of things that it's like, all right, we didn't need this. I didn't need this. Okay, but what is it trying to show me? What can I do about it? How can I, help in some way, or what's it trying to reveal for me? And some of it can reveal like your purpose, your humanitarianism, or your how I give back to others, or even your career. The things that we've walked through and the things that we've had to overcome are typically indicative of our core values and our life purpose. So answers are all in it.
Yeah. And it's, what do they call it? The hero's journey. And that forming under pressure. And that does come from challenging situations, some more traumatic than others for people. But again, that depends. Where are they on their soul path? How much trauma are they still repeating from past lives? Because everything's connected. There is no time. There is no space. Everything is one and the same. Also known as things like the quantum field or the Akashic records. All of these things are all entangled, this entanglement of us. But we're still in a linear fashion, like a game.
Oh my God. Yeah. The older I get, the more woo-woo I get. I won't do it with my clients with all of them, but if they're a little woo-woo, then I'm like, okay, so I want you to check your, human design. What's your birth chart? Let's look at this. Like a little bit on the birth chart. I'll do human design a little bit more, but I'm very like, I'll like if they're interested, I'll point them in the right direction, like to go, okay, go here, because I think there's but luckily on this timeline, I don't need past lives in order to unblock and heal a lot of the stuff. But it is a lot of fun to like go deeper in it, because like, for instance, there were some things that I had this woman years ago. I didn't believe in a lot of this stuff. Astrology stuff I did because it was like, and quantum because it's been science backed. There's a lot that I did, but a lot of things that I was like, But then my own experiences, I'm like, oh no, yeah, that's accurate. I had a woman read my birth chart
Hmm.
once. She didn't know me. We sat down and she read things in my past, this lifetime, that had my jaw dropping, that no one could have known. It was very specific. I can't even say it on, like, can't even say it out loud. And because some of it's like, I'm 8 years clean and sober. So before I got sober, there were definitely things that I had to go through in order to hit a bottom to get sober.
Yeah.
And she said, she didn't know me. She didn't know I was like an addict. And she said those things that I had done and gone through. And I was like, and she just looked at me. She's like, oh, it could be something around. I was like, no, no, no. It's that you're spot on with all of them. And then she also could see, which I didn't realize, she could see some past life things.
Mm.
And it was like, when she said it, I had never felt more seen in my life with like trying to explain to people my life journey. So for instance, for me, I've known for a long, long, long time, since I was a kid, that I needed to be on stage and speak and to step fully into my power. And I've continued in part of my repeat patterns, feeling scared and safe, not on being seen, and getting with toxic people or people, or feeling like I needed someone else in order to come in and protect me so that I was safe. And it was just this like, it would never work out. I would try and get with someone in career to help me, or dating. And it just became this like, and I knew it in the back of my mind that I was like, I'm meant to step fully into my power and fully into myself and activate fully before I am with a partner. Not everyone needs to do that. You don't need to be, stepped in and fully you. Actually, most of the time, relationships are our mirrors. Relationships actually help us elevate. And they still do with me. I date someone and there's that mirror, and I can see everything that I like in them is in me. Everything I don't like them in them is also in me. And that's my wounds to heal up. Yeah. But she read that in my chart. She's like, in a past life, you've consistently given your power to other people in order to protect you. You had to give up a piece of yourself, but you helped them. You became their, you help them gain more money, or you help them gain more success, but you're behind the scenes. And in this lifetime, you're meant to be right there in front of it, which exposes you to lack of safety, which is your, and I was like, I could not believe that she said that. And I, yeah, for the first time in my life, I was like, I didn't have the words to explain it to people.
Yeah.
On what my soul journey was, or what my life purpose was, because people would always tell me, Natalie, what are you talking about? You can have a career and a relationship at the same time. I was like, I know I can. I know I don't have a limiting belief there, but there's something in me that I need to step in fully. I can feel it. Yeah. And so people just didn't get it. And then finally this woman comes in, says it. I'm like, it's that. Here, you go tell the people, tell them.
that when it is that knowing yourself, learning about yourself, even the challenges that you've experienced in this lifetime, and then recognizing, or even whether it's consciously or subconsciously, seeing repetitions, that's a massive part of my work. It's a massive part of my self-healing as well. And I remember maybe 15 years ago, and I was over in the States, and it was a really weird experience, because and it's funny because I thought about this earlier, and now I'm realizing this is why I'm bringing it up. I didn't really believe in spirituality, because it wasn't part of my sphere of awareness. And this random guy, he comes up to me and he says something to me, and it really shook me. One, I mean, you shouldn't really do that, even if you are psychic. Like, you only I'm only meant to read with permission.
Yeah,
not a random person.
Consent.
Yeah. Yes, very, very important. But it shook me, and I didn't know why it shook me. And only interestingly, I remembered it maybe about a few days ago, and then re-remembered it this morning, as to like oh wow, that was true what he said. There was a reason why it made me feel a bit weird. But when you do it with a consent, when you're actively trying to find out more about yourself and doing a human design chart is fabulous because it gives you signposts as to why you are the way you are, the challenges that you have experienced, and also the path ahead that you're on. And actually, they're pretty good. I mean, there's nothing on my chart that I wouldn't say isn't me. And
Yeah.
and every chart is unique because of the placements of when you're born and all the rest, all the other aspects. So yeah, it is fascinating once you start delving into these new ways of learning about yourself and learning about the universe and how everything is so interconnected and has an effect. Like,
Oh
even
yeah.
children these days are very different to when I was a kid. Like, they're just a completely different breed of kids. Very sensitive, incredibly smart, and just it's beautiful. So it's always ever
Oh,
changing.
I feel like we were all sensitive coming in. We were just taught to process. I feel like every generation has their own um, burden to carry and overcome as part of their hero's journey.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen, because human behavior hasn't changed. So for me, when I see the young ones coming in, I see their personalities. Like in my family, the ones we pop out are quite fierce. They are sensitive though,
Mm.
as was I. I was extremely high empath even as a kid.
Yeah.
I needed my family and the chaos that happened and the trauma later on, well then and now, because it allowed me the ability to have armor for the battles that I have and had. I don't have any more battles. We're not claiming that anymore. I'm good. We learned all the things.
Yes.
So I've noticed immense sensitivities throughout all the generations. It's
Mm.
just each generation is taught to suppress it or repress it or whatever in some sort of way. So
Yeah.
you had your boomer era that was like, just suppress emotions, explode, beat each other as a form of,
Yeah.
and then you had the millennials that had to deal with the unprocessed trauma of that generation. And we tried to, but then, and then we passed that on. So, yeah, sensitivity wise, I think that the souls come in and they're all sensitive, but
Very.
they're going to go, but they're going to have their journey that suppresses those sensitivities, and then they'll reawaken their gifts later. I think that it's a rinse and repeat because it's every 30 years we have a massive like shift in consciousness again.
Mm.
Yeah, I see the patterns of it. I see how interconnected we all really are. I say that too because a lot of times people will talk about in dating or in relationships and in the dating sphere now, a lot of people will think that it's different because we have online dating or because modern day feminism, and it's actually all the same. Nothing's changed since back in the day at all. Honestly, nothing except for some of the parameters have changed, and also women are allowed to like work and make money. We were always hunter gatherers. So women were gatherers, women worked, women were partners. We were in partnership always. When we went away from that is when we screwed each other over. But I'm seeing us come back to hunter gatherers and partnerships. Yeah. Men primal were actually always arm distance away from children in order to teach emotional grounding for protection. So we're coming back to what we were initially, which was partnerships, community, and men were the grounders of children. They were the ones that like being around, they actually were more in tune with their emotions because in order to be an amazing hunter, you actually had to be very, very, very great with your feminine essence, which is intuition. A twig snaps and you're over here shooting something or a bear. So actually being way more intuitive helped us. So being grounders and regulators for the community helped survival. So we balanced and we flowed. So yeah, I look at what's happening as like a coming back to self, but the social media, what it's done, and media and news media and all that is it's been used as propaganda and it's been used as a confirmation bias and fear mongering.
Yeah.
And so if you believe that everyone's sensitive and everyone sucks and blah, 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 by accident, when you're online, that's what you'll see. If you think that like one side is this way and another side is this way, by accident, that's what the algorithm's going to show you. Meanwhile, over time, what it's really been is people come in, we're souls that forget. We go through our journey. Even if you have an amazing family, you have things that you will have to overcome no matter what, even if it's big or small, however you feel about it. And then the screaming people will get around the people who hate screaming and haven't healed from it. The trauma cycle will go with the trauma cycle. You'll be mixed in on this until you come out and you awake. You wake up, you see it, you sometimes dip back in, and then you come over here with the people that have done the inner work and healed, and we can see the matrix and we can see you in the, you know,
the hamster wheel. And it is.
It's a hamster wheel.
When you choose love, when you choose to
choose violence.
Yes. Well, I mean,
no, kidding.
Protection is required, and we protect our families, and you need that strength and that grounding and that fierceness to, you'll do whatever you can to protect your family. And you do need that strength. It's not always like, oh yeah, everything's all cool, peace, love, and like unicorns and rainbows, because it's not. And we have to be honest about the darkness that is at play. We have to be honest with ourselves about the darkness that we haven't resolved within ourselves and accepted.
Yeah.
Okay, that happened, but life changes, and I'm not the same person as I was before, and I'm doing better. If everyone starts navigating life in that, how can I just be better today than I was yesterday?
Someone taught me that a while ago. Yeah. Someone said too, was like, how can you be nicer and kinder to yourself today than you were yesterday? And that blew my mind. That I was like, wait, what? That's for the last 8 years I've been practicing. Can I just be a little bit better to myself today? Because this is something I learned. We treat others that we care about and that we love the way that we treat ourselves. I'm someone that grew up not caring about myself. I don't know if you had this, but I did not care about myself. I cared about others. Oh, I would bleed for others left and right. But when it came to myself or self-care, I had no idea. And then people growing up, especially when I got sober, would be like, oh, don't forget self-care, you got to do self-care. And I was like, can you describe this self-care for me? Because for someone who's been on survival mode for 30 years, what is this self-care shit? What is this? And I had to learn and like Google and research a lot, but I still didn't care. I didn't care about self-care. I wanted to, but my backdoor hack that I've given with some of my clients is, if you don't care about yourself, but you have like people that you really, really care about, you care about others. The backdoor hack is, by accident, you treat them the way that you treat you, which means you put them on the back burner. You accidentally dismiss their emotions. You disappear on them. You don't show up for them when it's important. That broke my heart. And when I started to realize that's when I was like, oh, okay. And it pushed me to taking better care of myself so I could show up better for you.
Yeah. That's the mirror. That's the mirror in relationships. In any relationship, whether it's romantic or not, people will always reflect you back to you. And the company you keep also reflects you back to you, or your inspiration or aspiration.
Yeah.
But there's always synchronicity why people meet and why their paths cross.
Yeah. You and I have like I remember when you and I met, we were like, oh my goodness, like everything. Like I'm reading your website and I was like, oh, we do the same thing. I break it down in layman's terms so I can help people that aren't necessarily Googling soul consciousness, but same thing. I was like, wait a minute, like reading your website. I was like, I remembered, I knew when we met and I knew a lot, but I was like, it was just such an amazing like reminder on Oh yeah, we met for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's that, and I love it when this happens as well. And we had that instant connection. We feel like we needed to catch up after it being, I don't know, however long in lifetimes that we'd last seen each other. That was the feeling that it'd been like, oh my God, I haven't seen you in ages. What's so big happening?
Yeah, right. You're like, we
How's
just saw you
this
in
life
November.
going?
Right. How are you doing in this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember last time I talked to you, you were looking at starting a group and doing like getting people together. Is this what that was now? Like the podcasting, bringing people together, or is it, what does it look like now? I don't know if you want to like tell people more about like what we did and what, yeah.
Yes, so actually I will be interesting you said that. I've been planning it. I've been using ChatGPT as my business manager. So we've been
Mhm.
crafting some things. And actually I want to put on a 5-6 week course that includes the future vision coaching for business.
Nice. Yeah.
You can resolve your past and then really start to connect to your future business idea, where do you want to go, where do you want to take yourself and your business, and then be able to get all of the information from yourself from the future in now hindsight. But I haven't set up the page yet, but that's the if actually anyone listening and that sounds of interest to you, it will be over kind of July August time, Lionsgate, so really cultivating that energy. So send me an email if you're interested and I'll get you on the waiting list. But yeah, so
Oh my
that's
goodness.
I'm aiming towards, that's the bigger one, but I do have like
Yeah.
I have a little tech every 2 weeks now. I'm doing a tech drop-in for business owners that either are a bit lonely, or I mean, the lonely factor can happen when you're running your own business and you're kind of flat out and there's not much
Oh
time
God.
for
Yeah.
conversations. And those that have kind of tech questions about how can I maximize and like me working by myself and my business, and what AI to use or what tech to use, just simplify it and design and all that good stuff. So that's my
Oh,
website. So,
I get that. I get stuck a lot, honestly, working by myself and like having my own companies. I
mm,
have two, like I have the production company, and that's a little easier because there's a whole team. There's people,
mm,
there's, my directors, my writers, there's people that there's marching orders and there's things that just to get done and we get it done.
right.
And then on my coaching side, that's like completely more self-reliant, and that can get overwhelming, and I'll get burnt out a lot because it's very like, okay, well now what? Well, sky's the limit. You can do anything. And I don't, it's a different, it's interesting. It's definitely interesting. Yeah.
And you have both
I use ChatGPT too. Yeah.
you know what, AI has been such a game changer for me working by myself, doing the
Yeah.
podcast. Normally it would take, I was thinking about this last night actually, how AI, if people use it for the right reasons, not just making like cool little videos and things,
Yeah.
you could really maximize your work week. You can, if you are that solo person in your business, or you've got multiple businesses and it's just you for them, AI is brilliant. It is. It is. I mean, I can't really say much more than that other than kind of getting
I
into.
know. I'm torn with it because I do know that it takes up a lot more water, and there's a lot of things and a lot of people who are trying to use it to replace people.
Mm,
And that I kind of hurt over, especially in my industry with filmmaking.
yeah.
We had strikes over this for that reason, because they were trying to replace actors and writers
Mm,
completely, and just underpay, 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 underpay.
yeah.
And it's not like there's not enough money in the film industry. I think it's a $9 billion industry, 9 or 90. I remember it's a huge number. Like there's plenty of money,
Yeah.
but it's going to the like top percent, just like the rest of like kind of unhealthy capitalism, we'll say. Not to, I'll put down capitalism, but and it's this forcing people to have to do three jobs and three
Mhm.
careers. Now, for me, I do love my careers. I'm always going to be helping others and filmmaking. I won't step out of that. That's just who I am as a person. It's what my heart wants. But the one thing is that there's definitely times where I'm forced into overworking because we don't have a system in place or a society in place where we get to lean on each other and depend on each other and have our basic needs met. And so with AI coming in, I'm grateful because that does help a small business owner, but I hope to never use it soon in the future because I cannot wait to have an abundance of money where I can actually pay people to do that, you know, but it does, but it really, so I won't use it for filmmaking. I won't feed the algorithm. I will not use it for filmmaking. It doesn't help that much anyway with filmmaking. It's not, it just doesn't.
Once you know your own structure and your kind of signature of your creations, because I'm still writing my book. I won't put my book through it. I will write it. It's helped me with structure, actually.
Yeah. I've done the same thing. Yeah.
Research aspects have been very useful, but for me personally, I'm like, no, I will write my book with my own words. It is really important because AI is everywhere. Also, I if I can use AI doing my other work, which means I get to get the content out to more people in less time. Not so great about the water being used. Yeah, granted that
I know there's some and just with and like I wouldn't mind some of the water being used is rough if we had better environmental like structures in place again, but those are getting ripped out. And if we had regulations on people trying to like undermine others, I'd be like, you know what I mean? Like it's like, why can't we just have nice things without like the like
that other stuff?
Greedy people? Yeah, can you not? Like stop. but yeah, that I actually did start to write my second book with Claude AI.
All right.
And I didn't like it. And that's when I had to come when I realized too, I was like, I'm gonna use this for the structure and use this as like ideas for some of the titles on things, but it just wasn't it wasn't, you know, really going with what I had to just keep correcting it and keep adjusting and I was like, this is gonna take me forever if I'm having versus what I've done and what I did with my first book. My first book actually came out of one of my courses. I had a course called How to Get the Girl, and I had this idea. I did the modules, and I can just riff. I can put the camera on, and I already knew the breakdown of the modules, and so I just knew how to go into each video. So I had 9 videos, and then I had this idea one time. I was like taking a shower or something, you know, with water and that, and it hit me, and it took me a while to finally follow through with it. But I had this idea that I was like, wait a minute, I can transcribe this. There's a website called like rev.com, and you can get it transcribed. I can transcribe this, and then I can hire a ghostwriter to edit and make this. And that's how I made my first book. I went back over a lot of it just to double check, because there are some things in there that I'm like, the ghostwriter like added some stuff that I was like, well, whatever. I had other people read it. I don't got time. I gave it for free for some of my clients that have known me for a while. I was like, read this, and if it doesn't sound good in some areas, tell me. I was like, I don't got time. I don't care. I got to learn that I'm a perfectionist, but my first boss who I left, who was not great, I learned so much from, which was like, just get it done. Just get it done and get it out there. Now, granted, you be careful on PR and what you're saying on some of it, but just get it done. I loved that. My first book was just like, I just wanted to get it done, and I did. And it was that, like, sent it off to someone on Fiverr,
nice,
paid them a good amount of money, tipped them. And it was one of those, like, I'm a small business owner, so it's like, you know, I can only but found a great ghostwriter. And then for the next book, I have like 3 other books that I've been not sure of which way to go, but now I know which one, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's gonna be that, and I'll do the same thing. I love it. So for anyone out there who's like stuck on writing a book, but you can build courses and you can speak and you can talk, there you go. That's the fastest way to write a book.
I actually got that. I did some future life I did the advanced course at the weekend with
Nice.
Anne, and I connected to my future self, and she was
Yeah.
saying, just use technology as a way to, write, or to write for you. So if I do
Yes.
go or do an audio note, I know I've had this before, but sometimes it's like I've been doing all these things and I needed to go through. Now I'm getting to the point where I'm like, okay, yeah, I will be able to get more words out through different methods that don't involve me sitting down. But I know that I can talk, and doing the podcast helps because I'm practicing flowing in conversation and not knowing what I'm going to be talking about with every guest. So, and I enjoy that
Me
also,
too.
that fun part. But obviously with the book, it's more structured, but it's talking about my life and my journey and the things that I observed about myself and about the situations that I was experiencing at the time, including destructive relationships with myself and also with others, and then giving insights as to, what can you do in the moment if you find yourself in this situation? What process can I do, or insight can I have that will help me move out of this, so you stop being stuck? So
Yes.
yeah, so that's
Yeah. That. How
yeah.
do I repeat? How do I stop it? I just had that conversation last night with someone.
Mm.
I'm in a repeat pattern. I think I broke it. But I was in it last year and I cut this person loose and I wound up with like 2 projects on my lap fully funded. And I was like, okay, universe, I like this.
Yeah.
Oh, we passing tests. So for if anyone's going through anything, seriously, just keep going, settle down, rest when you need to. Just like slow down to speed up.
Mm.
Slow down to speed up. If
Yeah.
you're trying and you're running and gunning and you're trying to do the thing and do this and do that and do this and I got to do this thing, you're in a dysregulated nervous system. What happens when you're going 90 miles an hour on the highway and you got to get off on a turn? Especially in Florida. If anyone knows about Florida, you drive on that highway and you miss an exit, you are screwed for 40 miles. You got to go up, you got to get off, you got to go back around, you got to go 40 miles back. That is like, oh my God, you just, so it took me forever to learn this and to integrate it. Slow down to speed up. The slower I go, the faster I can get off at the right exit. The faster my intuition has time to talk to me. The faster I can go, ooh, here. And it's amazing. It's helped me. And it was, I could do it in coaching. I could pop and make money, but some of my life lessons were I only know struggle. I only knew struggle for a long time and hustle. So oftentimes I would watch my bank account deplete, and then I would go into struggle mode and hustle mode and pop and make money. And then I would get burnt out, and it was rinse and repeat. So it's been this like, what does it look like and feel like to make money in a regulated nervous system and with peace and ease? And that's now been, but then with acting and producing, oh my God, like I couldn't not let my shadow be ruling me and my wounds be ruling me, my insecurities making the decisions. And it really took trauma therapy, specifically somatic experiencing, to finally like help me to like pause more and not let my wounds, insecurities, and reactions fucking keep stealing the show. And I needed to grieve and like cry and let everything out. And now it's like, slow down. And that helps you speed up. Slow down, pause. When something comes in, I get to listen and feel in my intuition. Is this a yes or a no? And then move that way. So yeah, that anyways, I can't remember originally what we were talking about. I went off on a tangent, but that.
No, I don't remember either. But the yes or no is a really good one. And I do that too as well. It's that it's really important finding those quiet moments. And actually it's finding the balance. I try to be as balanced as possible in my day.
Yeah.
Like even not getting too excited.
What does that look like for you? What does that, because I teach people about balance, and I got to be honest, you know, what's interesting is I love adrenaline. I love adrenaline. I love chaos. And I lied to myself for the last 2 years. I was like, I love peace and ease. I love peace and ease. Yet my behaviors were like like massively destroy my schedule, overwhelm the crap out of it, meetings, this, that, and then run away and then travel. And then just zero chill. And I finally had to admit, it's like, let me be honest with myself. I don't like peace and ease. I don't. I love chaos, but I love the effects produced by peace and ease. So now I got to do the balance thing. So please, because I'm still learning this. I'm a coach, but that doesn't mean I'm perfect. I can teach it. I can pass that stuff on easily. I can help you break down that wheel. 7 areas in life to maintain balance. Write that shit down. Meanwhile, I'm going to overwork over here. I love it. What does balance look like in your life today?
For me, I can be an overworker. So for me, having actually is, and this is something, it's been my birthday recently, so it's been an opportunity for me to be
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Wait, when was your birthday?
22nd May.
You're May. Gemini still? Gemini.
Yeah, Gemini.
Mine's coming up in 10 days.
He's Gemini as well.
Geminis. Yes. No wonder. Okay. This makes sense. Continue. Yeah. Okay, so continue. So yeah, see your birthday.
I would say anyone that's like, I've got a bit of a thrill-seeking part about me, I love the adrenaline, is go and do healthy adrenaline things. But as a fun activity, even things like, exercise is a great one. For me, I can go into hermit mode but I overwork myself and I don't get out enough. So for me is
that I'll oscillate.
Yeah.
My hermit mode is like burnout and then extreme. Yeah, keep going. I'm here for this. I'm so here for this.
Yeah, so I suppose, and again, like yourself, I'm always developing, always trying to evolve and being like, okay, if I can block work into certain days or certain times, and that I know the other part of the day, I can do things that are just for me. It's not for anyone else. It would be like writing my book or just reading. That's not for anyone else other than my benefit, or drawing or creating or just gardening or going out for a walk, or I live by the sea. So go for a walk to go by the sea. I don't do it as often as I could, but I want, and I will make a point this summer, especially, is go out. I mean, every year should be one for that, but is have a cutoff point, okay, I need to do things for me. So what helps me feel good in myself, that I feel strong, I feel healthy, I feel fulfilled, I feel like I'm being mentally challenged as well, because that is a big part of, I think that's part of the overwork, is that we've got these busy minds that we're really good at problem solving and creating solutions, and sometimes it's hard to stop that, especially if you've come from experiencing trauma in the past, is that there always needs to be this resolution, which is also the theme of movies, TVs, and movies and TVs is, something bad happens, the hero's journey. You go through the experience, and then at the end, it's happily ever after. And I feel like that's a work thing, which isn't always a bad thing, to kind of be obsessed about your work and create something that you could build a legacy on. I think that's different as well, but then create space for family time, fun time, love time, exercise time, eat good food, go maybe, I don't know, do whatever it is.
Oh my God, yes.
So those would be my things. Those are the things I'm still doing for myself, is not to get too hyper focused in my work, and to remember to look up from my screen, have breaks for my eyes. That was also another message I gave to myself, which was, have less screen time, but be more disciplined with my time. So connect to my highest self, to my purest essence. She will help me then get real disciplined and organized and productive, more on the side, 2 hours instead of 5 hours worth of work. So So for me, I'm like, okay, I've done my X amount of time in a shorter amount of time, and now I'm going to go do fun stuff, because that's part of the deal. I'm not here to be working 24/7, but I am here to work and love and express and create, and that's kind of how I'm feeling about.
I love it. I try and listen to my body a little bit more, and like I can tell when I'm going over my own time boundaries. And because I can give a lot of my time, like I have a couple clients right now, and I've lowered the amount of like one-on-ones that I'm doing, because I have a lot in production that I'm taking my focus. So sometimes I'll give them a little bit more access to me to message me, which I don't, I'm like, no, you guys need to go do your work. I am not your mom. Like, go do your work and then you can talk to me. But sometimes I'll be like, all right, let's do a call. Our call is scheduled for Thursday, but I can tell that you're struggling with your homework a little bit. Let's just jump on a call. And I remember it was on a day where it was like, it was my day off. I think it was, or at least I needed to take a day off. Cause again, I'm filming a Lifetime movie right now, and I'm also coaching, and I'm also producing 2 features. So I'm like, but I love it. So a structure doesn't always work, because it's like, well, I booked this project and then we were filming that next week. So it was like, okay, we need to flow with it. Yeah. So I'm starting to coach and I'm starting to teach too much. I'm ending the conversation right now. Go do your homework. You've got this. You figured it out. I don't want to keep talking. I won't even apologize anymore for me being like a little spastic, because I could feel it, and I was like, oh, all right, we've hit it. Nope, you're good. I love you. Go, talk to you Thursday. Bye. I'm out. Like, nope, I'm hitting my wall. And he's like, got it, coach. I got you. Like, you're good. Like, go. I'm like, all right. Because for me, I've noticed that like when it comes to putting myself first, or it's still a work in progress, because my go-to is, if I fix you and I help you, then I don't have to think about me. And so it's just something that's been in me for years and years and years. So it's still a habit that I'm breaking, which is like, yes, I can help and I can be of service, but there's people's phone calls now that I need to screen, because they'll call me to regulate them. And I just don't want that in my relationships anymore. Like, I've had to address some of my friendships, because our friendships look too much like fixing each other. And I had to really assess that and really go, well, that's my part. My part is that I speak to my friends in a way of like, I'm broken or you're broken, or let's fix it, or what are we fixing? And it's like, nah, now it's, what did you watch on TV today? What brings you joy? We don't need, and it was a little uncomfortable for a little bit to like, how do I speak to people without it being about
healing?
Yeah. And we can still talk about it, but without the like, oh, here's an answer, or here's a solution, or, oh, I need to like jump to like providing an insight. Like, no, I don't. So that gave me back my time. And with that time, I go to the sauna, I do my self-care. My self-care is like so solo. I'm taking myself out to eat and that beautiful dinners, and that, alone time, taking myself for like a yoga class, going for a walk, on reading. Oh, my mornings too. My mornings, I love. My mornings are usually 1 hour but I wake up, I might get on the phone to like play with some stuff or look some things up. But I used to wake up in a panic attack every day for majority of my life.
No.
And I've worked under some bosses that were awful, that like when I woke up, it was like, they were already, on their BS that day. And it was constant, like, what did I do wrong? Do I have a fire to put out? And I lived like that. And I had panic attacks so much that my body was breaking out. I had hives everywhere. My skin was really bad. This was up until like several years ago, about a handful of years ago. And I finally hit a bottom where it was like, but that was normal for me. I didn't understand. That was my normal, was like barely any sleep, wake up in a panic attack, try and put out every fire, go to sleep, wake up and repeat. And now some people, and I admire this, and I wish I could jump to it. And sometimes I can, but some people will wake up and like, go straight to the gym or go outside and go for a walk. And for me, my little act of rebellion and self-care has been for the while now. I wake up, and that first hour in the morning is peace and quiet. And it's just me. And it's my time with my higher power. It's my time with my higher self. It's just me and coffee and perhaps Tetris. I do love Tetris.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then I might do some meditation. I might journal a little bit. I might just sit there and enjoy my cup of coffee and I'm just chilling. And it's just this like, just this peace, you know? So that's my balance, but it's always a work in progress, an act in progress.
Life is about life is about experiencing life. And that means there are lows, there are extremes. Ooh. There are also peace.
Yeah.
Peaceful extremes might be too much if you're more geared to, you know, creating, and you have that through your work, through your purpose. That is the fulfilling part that drives you. And what I love actually is when you start to change your friendship group, or you start to recognize that different people coming in your lives, like yourselves and also other people from the course as well, is I really like spending my time and connecting with people that have done their work, are continuing to do their inner work to whatever degrees they are. And now they're building a business to help other people as well as themselves.
Yeah.
That they're admitting that is such a beautiful shine for me, because I know it's, you know, you've passed that inner stage of when it's really bad inwardly and you're like, I need to fix myself because this isn't right. And then you kind of come out of that, which is a beautiful experience. And then you're like, okay, I've had that experience. How could I benefit others with the experience that I have had, so maybe they don't have to suffer quite so much? Or where can I
that? Yeah.
And that is where I could, you know, that purpose of trying not to be too much of a workaholic, but you know, sometimes you're gonna have that, and that's okay. Sometimes you need that burst of fire, of energy to create things from nowhere. So okay,
absolutely.
And just knowing when, and I like that. Start the morning relaxed. I have that same thing. I don't like starting early. I don't like rushing out of bed if I can absolutely help it. I might work later in the day, and that suits me because I don't feel stressed and rushed from the start of the day. I'm going at my pace. I'm setting my pace. But depending,
I love it so much. Yeah.
So, doing something for yourself for the first thing that you do in the day, and then if you go on to help other people, as long as you do that first thing for yourself, you'll feel like, okay, I'm putting me first. That's
I'm trying to up that too. Like my next level for me is that like I want to start structuring my my days, but again, sometimes I am, you know, it's a fluid. Things come up and it's lovely. But I want to start structuring my day where actually I wake up and I have that hour, and then I do something else for myself, like go to a yoga class or, you know, do something else that's just like, this is just good for me and my mental health. Like put me first. And then, because sometimes what I'll do is like, I'll have that hour and then I'll jump into work, which is fine. And then afterwards I'll try and go to the yoga class, but I might be too tired. So that's where I'm like, okay, how can I adjust this? But again, mornings for me, I'm like, I still need like accountability or like someone to like be like, hey, meet me at this yoga class. And now I feel obligated because I made a promise to someone. And now I'm like, okay, we got it. So it's a work in progress. But
I heard the other day, don't have an alarm to wake up, but have an alarm to go to bed. And I'm genuinely thinking that might be the solution to me getting into bed earlier, because it's easy. I could easily work until midnight. Other people, that's either like, whoa, that's too much, or oh, that's nothing. But I'm still trying to create that balance. But I'm genuinely thinking, I'm going to start doing an alarm to get into bed for 10, because if you get to sleep before 12, you need less hours and you feel more refreshed. That has been my personal experience. So I know that works. And I quite like the early morning hours, but the day is so busy. And I normally just keep working until I need to go to bed because I can't keep my eyes open anymore. So
yeah. Yeah, and I try and disconnect as well too at night. But I'm a bit more of a night owl. Even last night I couldn't sleep. I was tossing and turning a bit. And I woke up and I was like, I need to work. I just need to do a couple things. And I did. I shut off a couple emails and I was like,
Feel better.
I just need, yeah. And it was just because it was, I had a slow day for myself. And there was that thing inside of me that felt like just a little restless and awake. And yeah, but again, it's just, for me, it's like, it's flow. It's flow, it's flow. But I've had to condition myself to try and get into bed earlier and like stay there and then not work and then go to sleep. So that's just a habit. But then by accident, I had a couple late nights that I was like up till 4 o'clock in the morning, and dealing with things. And I was on someone else's schedule and whatever. And I think it was from acting or something, or one of the things that I was doing. So I broke my sleep pattern. So I'm now having to like take that back and like undo it again and like go, okay, tonight I'm going to go to bed at 2. Tonight I'm going to go at 1. Tonight I'm going to go to bed at midnight. So I'm having to like slowly pull that back. And so it just so happened that last night I'm still under that, I was on set late and waking up late. And so now my sleep schedule's a little off. So I'm still breaking back into so that's why, like last night I was tossing and turning. And I like woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm like, okay. All right. Well, let's just get some work done. Now I'm going back.
I've done that before. Yeah, actually, when I'm restless, I'm like, there's something that I probably, maybe even just writing a list of the things that I need to do. That's been quite good, having a busy.
That helps a lot.
Oh, just write the list. I've had it before. Just write the list, and then I can go back, and then I actually go to sleep.
Yes. If anyone's struggling with sleep out there and your mind doesn't turn off, breath work. I relax my body. I think of each area in my body and I breathe into it and relax it and relax it and relax it. And if it's something where it's like, I can't sleep because my mind is being overactive, on my notes on my phone, I just jot down everything. And then I tell myself, like, this is not for me today. This is done. Today is done. This is tomorrow. Everything is fine. And I'm safe. And then I go into like that breath work and like relaxing my body. And then I'm right in and I can pass out.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, the breath work, I've done it before, and it's like, just do it as long, like as drawn out and as long as possible. And I don't know how many breaths, and I am asleep. I've gone. Yeah, but thank you so much for today. It's been
this is great. Yeah,
so wonderful speaking with you. Do you have any final words that you'd like to share with the audience?
No, just hopefully you guys are just pause more if you're going through something. Breathe, take deep breaths. There's so many solutions. The answers are all out there, and it's cool because the answers are usually right in front of our faces. So get with someone who can help you read the patterns if you're going through something, and just know that like after you go through something, there's a reward or there's a peace. There's this like, woof, there's something really good that happens on the other end of whatever you're going through. So slow down to speed up, keep going. You've got this.
Fabulous. Thank you, Natalie. Yeah. And are there any links or social media handles you'd like to share with the audience so they know how to contact you?
Yes, you can find me anywhere at Natalie Stavola. I am usually on Instagram a lot. I've got a couple Instagram handles, Natalie.Stavola and Natalie Stavola. So yeah, link up with me there. I post a lot, especially my stories, and yeah, looking forward to just interacting with everyone.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone that has watched today's episode. And if you like it, give us a like, and yeah, enjoy the episode. I hope it's brought you more solutions than problems to your world. And
yes.
And may more solutions continue. And thanks for now, and we'll see you in the next episode.